So I'm 23 years old and we're in this Mediterranean resort town on the southeast coast of Cyprus, a little city called Ayia Napa, about 30-minute flight from Tel Aviv. And this tiny little town is lined with beaches and clubs. And during the summer, thousands of young tourists from all over Europe and Israel come to party. So I'm there with my dear friend Sadia Natek, and our mission was to set up a Chabad house for 6 weeks that will service the thousands of Israeli tourists that are all about just finished high school, right before they go to the army. For a lot of them, it's like their first experience outside of Israel. And so we're given this small budget and we've got to go figure this all out. And we're in a place where nobody speaks a word of English and we certainly don't speak a word of Greek. And we've got to go rent a Chabad house, rent a place to sleep, an apartment. Anyway, we immediately find this perfect little storefront right in the center of town, just upstairs from this tattoo parlor. And the Israelis just start to come in droves. And we would sit out on the deck and smoke hookah and talk about life with these guys. And I'm sitting there strumming the guitar, my friend Sadia's rapping. And, Shabbos comes around and we find ourselves inviting them for dinner. 60 people show up the first Friday night, 90 the second, and by the third week, we're hosting 150 20-year-olds for Shabbos dinner. And all we had to offer them was hummus, pita, and soda, yet somehow those Friday nights were magical. And they would erupt into this heartfelt singing for hours. Anyway, that was all a really long intro to what I wanted to tell you. Was this one Thursday night, Sadia and I are sitting on the deck, and these two Israeli girls, Joelle and Maria, and we're having a really good conversation about life with them. And so suddenly Sadia picks up his cup of water, and he says aloud, Baruch atah Hashem, sha'akol niyah bidvaro. And I'll never forget this. This 19-year-old who's religiously not observant, she says in the sweetest way, Eze yofi shemevarchim lifnei sheshotim kos mayim, which means, how beautiful that you make a blessing before you drink a cup of water. And I can never forget that moment. I felt so alive. My soul was suddenly on fire. And I was emotional. I was getting emotional now. I said to her, Maria, for 23 years, I've been saying a blessing before I put food into my mouth. That means hundreds, maybe thousands of blessings I've made. And I've never experienced the beauty of this mitzvah like you, Maria, just showed me. You're a light. And I was thinking about it today when you asked me, where did this YJP journey begin for me? And so much of my life today was shaped by that experience that night. But if I had to zero in on what exactly that experience was, I would say I had two life-changing realizations that night. Number one, I thought to myself, no wonder so much of Judaism is underappreciated. If a diamond is not in the right setting, you don't appreciate it the same way. A mitzvah, if it's not experienced right, you can't experience it. You can't appreciate it. I didn't know all the details back then, but one thing I knew for sure, I was going to be dedicating a significant part of my life to creating the setting and experience in which people can appreciate a mitzvah. The second life-changing realization I had that night, I learned that the most powerful prayer in the world is gratitude. All summer, group after group of these kids were so incredibly grateful for the opportunity to chill with these two student rabbis who actually noticed them and took them seriously. Till today, on the one hand, it boggles my mind that the Rebbe figured out how to get two 23-year-olds to care and take off a summer to do this. Yet at the same time, it's so obvious. That summer was one of the most powerful experiences of my life. To make a blessing before we eat, to acknowledge where the food comes from, and then express gratitude to Hashem, breathes so much life into a person. So I'll never stop being grateful to the Lubavitcher Rebbe for that opportunity, for teaching me that summer the art of giving and how to make my life about other people, and for allowing me to experience how giving is the air that happiness breathes, and that the more you give, the more you open yourself up to channels of blessings. Ultimately, I made the decision to dedicate my life to a life of giving to God, giving to others. And thanks to the help of so many amazing people that we've been able to surround ourselves with, we've been able to create this amazing engine of creativity that serves our community. So today, we're reaching out. We need your help. Our community has an opportunity to give. The opportunity to become a YJP donor and investor and a partner in our holy work. Our growing YJP team spends 364 days a year giving. And for just one day, we're turning to the community to help us fund the engine that serves us all. So here's to life, to a life, breathing life, and a renewed sense of passion and joy through your act of giving today. L'chaim.